This morning on the huddle, we're going to be talking about 5 tips, 5 mistakes that you as a content creator need to avoid in doing live streaming or avoid doing podcasting. And we're talking about that this morning here on the huddle. So do me a favor, grab yourself a cup of coffee and huddle up because it's time for the huddle. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we want to welcome you to the show. This morning, as we said in our opening, we're going to be talking about 5 mistakes as a content creator that you're doing as a live streamer need to avoid when doing a live stream. Now, we're talking about live streaming, but these tips, these mistakes can even be applied even in podcasting, doing uploaded video, and just doing content creation that you need to avoid when you go live. You need to avoid doing content creation. And so if you're joining us this morning here on the huddle, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Are you team live or your team replay? Are you team live like my good friend Tech Troublemaker is in the house this morning? I want to say good morning to you, sir, for joining us on the huddle. And as you are joining us, let us know where you're watching us here on the huddle. And those of you who will be watching the replay, team replay, my crew, my posse, my squad that shows up week after week when we go off the air and they begin to watch the replay so much to the point that YouTube says, we got to get this and suggest it. We got to get this on the homepage. We got to get this video ranked in search because it's a great piece of content. So we want to thank all of those on Team Replay who are watching us when we go off the air, and it's a piece of great content online you can watch in the replay. So Tech Troublemaker, grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab yourself a pen and a paper as we get started on this discussion on what mistakes you need to avoid on live streaming when you're doing live streaming. And, you know, I've seen a lot of videos, mistake videos that people create, and you watch and you learn from other people's mistakes. And I think that's important. But what's most important, the greatest type of mistakes that you need to learn from are the mistakes that you make yourself. Because if you're trying to learn from other people's mistakes, that's good and fine. But then when you start making mistakes on your own, if you don't learn from them yourself, it's going to hurt your development. It's going to stunt your growth because you unfortunately are not learning from the mistakes. And so these mistakes I'm going to share, you at some point may have made yourself, or if you just started on live streaming, you may have not made them yet, but trust the process. At some point, you're going to make one of these 5 mistakes. And so let's get into tip number 1 or mistake number 1. Get this over here. Perfect. Mistake number 1. There we go. Not planning out your live stream. Not planning out your live stream, but you're starting to get into doing live streaming and you're just spontaneous. You're in the moment. You just want to go live. You want to go live. Hey, I've been there. Just want to, it's excited about live streaming, and you just go out there and you start to live stream, and there is no audience. There is crickets online, and no one is watching your content. And you're like, yo, I told my friends, I told my family, I told some of the people on social media, my Facebook friends, and no one is watching your live stream. And you're like, what's going on? You know, and this is a common mistake that we've all made. But after a period of time, you begin to understand that planning out live streaming is effective in helping you to be successful in doing a live stream show. Planning out your live stream is going to help you so that way you don't miss out on a couple of opportunities. Like if you plan and schedule out your live stream, first of all, YouTube is going to send out a notification. First, to any subscribers that you have attained up to this point. If you have anywhere from 15 to 20 subscribers, maybe some of your first subscribers are family and friends, but it's going to send out some notifications to your family and friends or those who have subscribed to your channel. It's also going to send some notifications to those who have maybe watched some of your previous content, and to let them know that you're going live on, Saturday at 11 a.m. And so the earlier one school of thought is the earlier you schedule your live stream, the better opportunity of you having success and having viewers watching your live stream. Some people say you should schedule your live stream out 7 days. I even heard one person watching a live stream tutorial on scheduling and planning out your live stream. One person said they go far as 30 days. Well, more power to you, 30 days. But I'm a person that, I'm into planning, but 7 to 10 days seems to be a good sweet spot for me, because anything can change in those 30 days. You may have to pivot in some way. Maybe, you may have to go into a different direction. So planning that far out for one live stream is, to me, that's not really something for me. But I mean, if you're talking about planning out maybe 3 to 4 different live streams, then that kind of makes sense, because you're kind of scheduling out your whole month. This week, I planned out not only this live stream for this Saturday, which I scheduled on, I believe, Thursday or Friday, but I also scheduled out, Monday's live stream that we're going to be having at 7 p.m. with Dr. Elo, who's going to be making a house call, a doctor's house call here in the huddle, as we talk about repurposing content, 5 ways to effectively repurpose your live streams and your content. So I've scheduled that out. So scheduling out your live streams is going to help to make sure that those notifications go out. Though not only those notifications, but if you're sharing your live stream on another platform, rather if you're sharing it manually, whereas you just go into YouTube and you hit the share button, and you're able to share it to your Facebook page. You're able to share it to your LinkedIn page. You're able to share it to Twitter. You can share it on your Twitter page. It gives you that ability to get that sharing out, get those notifications out on social media, so that you can increase your opportunity in being able to get your live stream seen and viewed by the audience. As long as you follow those best practices and you put those things in place, then you're putting yourself in the best place for success. Lastly, email marketing. If you are a person who's starting to develop emails through previous guests that you've invited on, that you all share and do some of the same things in terms of content creation, and you've developed a nice bulk, compiled a nice list of emails where you can start maybe sending out emails to let people know of any special live stream events that you're going to be having. And if you do that, you're increasing your opportunity to do that. So you gotta, if you fail, as Tech Troublemaker says, if you fail to plan, you're gonna plan to fail. And so you have to be able and willing to plan. And that's why I like the little picture there. It takes work on your part as a content creator. It takes some sweat equity on your part as a live streamer to plan out your live streams, because if you don't, you're gonna fail to plan, and unfortunately your best made lack of a plan is going to fail. And so put in the chat for me some of the ways that you plan out your live streams. Is it through notification and scheduling your live streams? Is it through social media? Is it email marketing list? Just drop in the chat which of these, or just put hashtag all 3 if that's you're doing. If you're joining us this morning, we're talking about 5 mistakes you need to avoid as a live streamer when you're doing your live streams. So let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. If you're part of Team Live, hashtag Team Live. And if you're part of Team Replay, put in the comment section, hashtag Team Replay for us. Tip number 2, or mistake number 2 that we need to avoid, having long video intros. Having long video intros. Tech Troublemaker, and those of you who are just joining us on this live stream here, this is probably one of my biggest mistakes as a live streamer, just starting doing live streams. Having a long video intros. When I first started doing live streaming, I would have my huddle intro music. I had my huddle intro music timed to about maybe 32 to 37 seconds when I first clipped it and put it in Canva and everything. And I would play it faithfully every Saturday when I would go. But little did I know, because I wasn't looking in my YouTube analytics or not really understanding how long video intros could hurt your live stream, people would unfortunately come on and come off, come on and come off. And as a result, it would cause a negative viewer experience for the viewer, having long video intros. And so, though I am not opposed to some good long video intros that have good music, but what I've come to understand, that as much as I as the host, or as much as I as the live streamer may enjoy the music of some of these live streams that have long video intros, it still creates a negative viewer experience for the audience, because the audience at the end of the day matter. YouTube is not so much interested in the entertainment and pleasure we get as live stream hosts. They're not interested in that. But what they are interested in is the viewers that they're trying to have to watch your live stream. And so if you have a long video intro, it's going to affect the viewer's experience and cause it to be negative. And so what I had to do, after having Cher Jones come on, who came on during the month of March, where she shared about personal branding, one of the things that we talked in the green room offline after the broadcast had ended was her years of experience in video production and broadcast. She shared with me some of these same experiences about negative experience that viewers have through long video intros. And so she challenged me to get it to about 3 to 6 seconds. Well, unfortunately, I got it to 9 seconds. I had to do a little compromising. I said, can I have it at 9 seconds? But there's some good video intros, like my good man all the way from London, Mr. Ash Bolin, who's just joining in the chat. I like the way his video intro is. And so having a good short video intro is going to prevent the mistake of your viewers having a negative experience in watching your content. Most importantly, it's going to help you so that you don't lose viewers, because you have to understand, when you go live, YouTube is already in the process. Once the notification goes out that you hit go live and it's ready, set, go, it's action, that YouTube is in the process of trying to get viewers to watch the live stream. But if they come and they see you, with the guest, and you're playing the music and the intro, the countdown clock timer clock says, say that 50 times, and you guys got 3 minutes before you go live, and YouTube is kind of round up around about 10 to 20 people to watch it, well, guess what? You're going to lose viewers. And I've made that mistake. I'm quite sure you've made that mistake. But if you are someone who's just starting and doing live streaming, you want to avoid a long video intro. And what I've learned is, 3 to 6 seconds seems to be the standard. But I kind of pushed the envelope and I got it at 9. So the huddle community has been gracious enough to say, yeah, we fine with 9 seconds, and we'll roll with you. Also, if you end up having a long video intro, on your live streams, it's going to hurt your replay viewers. It's going to hurt Team Replay. And Team Replay, the majority of the viewers do come from Team Replay. Hashtag Team Replay. Those of you who will watch this on the replay, give us a hashtag Team Replay, because replay viewers are the ones who get the views. Your live stream becomes another piece of content. Your first piece of content is the live stream. The second piece of content is the replay. Okay, so you have two pieces of content there. And so you want to make sure that the video intro is not 32 seconds like mine, or some that I've seen are anywhere from, a minute to 4 minutes. I'm not trying to show any shade. I'm not trying to throw any criticism. I'm just kind of sharing you what the numbers say and what the analytics and the data says about viewer experience. YouTube cares about viewer experience. YouTube wants our viewers to be able to watch our content for long pieces of time and it have a long average view duration, having retention. But if you have a long video intro, you've already unfortunately tripped yourself out the gate, and as a result, it's going to affect your live stream. And so you want to make sure you're aware of that. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion this morning about 5 mistakes you need to avoid as a live streamer doing live streaming, do me a favor, click the like button, share this on your favorite social media channel. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, we want to encourage you to subscribe, because we're committed to helping you broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video. And so if you're watching this morning in the chat, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Let us know if you're a part of hashtag Team Live or if you're going to be hashtag Team Replay. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3, and we touched on it a little bit on the end of tip number 2, or mistake number 2, the replay experience. The replay experience is so important for a live stream. And it took me some time to really understand that after getting out of my feelings. You know, when you're first starting doing live streaming, when you first start doing a podcast, and you upload some video content, and you're all in your feelings because you have no views. You're all in your feelings because no one has subscribed and increased your subscribership on your channel, because the video is at this moment shows no results that you were looking for. But when you get all in your feelings like that and you're not thinking about the replay experience, unfortunately, those types of results, which goes back to tip number 1, if you plan to fail, you will fail to plan, as Tech Troublemaker said in the chat. The replay experience, unfortunately, is going to not help the video. And so when we don't think about the replay experience, some of the ways that we make the mistake is we're focusing so much on Team Live that we don't spend any time or devote enough time to Team Replay. We spend so much time communicating with those that are in the chat, but we don't balance it by acknowledging that there will be others who will watch the replay. And when we fail to do that, that will be a mistake that will hurt the live stream. And so we have to acknowledge not only those in the chat who are part of Team Live, and if you're just watching us and joining us as you've gotten the notification, put in the chat where you're watching us from and give us a hashtag Team Live, but to the ones who will be watching the replay, we want to acknowledge them. Failure to acknowledge those who will watch the replay will hurt not only the live stream that's now become a video to watch, but it could possibly hurt future live streams, because when the notification goes out to those same individuals, that you've kind of developed a reputation as a live streamer that you're just focused on people who just who are engaged in at the live. And we don't want to present ourselves that way. We want to care about individuals who are watching the live stream. There are those who have let me know that are watching the live stream, but they're working, but at the same time as watching my live stream. And so what that says to me is that there will be also people who will watch my replay. They may never hit the thumbs up button, may as much as I would like them to, because that helps the algorithm and tells YouTube that this is a great piece of content. They may even, unfortunately, not be able to comment because they're working as much as I would like for them to comment because it helps the algorithm. But if I don't acknowledge them, if we don't acknowledge them, we unfortunately have a missed opportunity on that. And another thing that I've mistake that I had to correct myself on, and I'm still working to correct myself, extended shout outs where you're constantly going through the live experience and you're shouting out content person A, content person B, and in the midst of a point, you're shouting out content person C. Because sometimes you get excited if you've gone through that period where you had very little to no viewers watching it, and all of a sudden you get a flood of maybe 10 to 20 viewers watching the live stream, and it's exciting. It gets you an adrenaline rush, a dopamine in your body, in your system, and you're like, wow, I'm excited. People care about watching my content. But even though you have that moment of excitement, you can't get caught up into extended shout outs and shouting people out, all for the purpose of you getting caught up in the moment. Or even if you thinking, if I shout out Ash on my live stream, well, guess what? When he does his live stream on Friday, he will shout me out. And so extended shout outs hurt the replay experience. Not only that, it's going to hurt where you end up having shorter watch time. Maybe a person does start to watch the replay, but if you're doing all of that extended shout outs, and you're having a bunch of side conversation that has nothing to do what you said in the title or the description, that has nothing to do what you said in the thumbnail, guess what? You're going to have viewers who may start, people watch your replay of your video, but maybe after a few minutes, they're going to eventually stop watching your content, because they may not have the mindset of a content creator who wants to support another content creator. You have to understand the audience comes to watch our content because it's helping them to address a particular pain point that they may have in their life. It's helping to answer a specific question that they need answered in their life, or they may need a form of entertainment to help bring down their stress level. And so them coming to watch your replay provides an opportunity for them to be able to do that. So you don't want to cause yourself to have shorter watch time, and I see a comment here that I definitely want to pull up that Tech Troublemaker has said here. So bear with me. Let's get over there. Tech Troublemaker says, I try to do my show in segments and then do shout outs then at the back of the end, either at the back end or during the next segment. And that's true. If you have a strategy in how you kind of do your shouts out or acknowledge those that are in the comments, engage in your audience. If you have a strategy about it, I was listening to Laura Patucci as I was doing my research on putting this topic together. She talked about maybe, doing your first value tip or point, and then do a little engagement and with the audience that are live, and speaking to those in the replay and in the comment section, and then go to the next tip. Then another person has said maybe you do your first two. I like doing my first two, and then do your like and share and engage with the audience. But you, like Tech Troublemaker says, you have to have like a strategy so that you don't hurt the replay experience. The replay experience is where it's going to really be critical and important for people to engage in your live stream. Ash, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hey, look, I only learn from the best. I sit at the feet of the Jedi Masters like yourself, Ash. I appreciate that this is gold and you're enjoying it. And so we want to make sure that we don't hurt the replay experience. Mistake number 4, not being consistent. Now, we've heard this maybe once or twice or for the 99th time, but indulge me, this is the 100th time that you will hear this. But as I am growing and being a part of different types of content creation circles, people have come to me and say, "What? I see you're growing. I see you're growing. I see the viewers. I see the subscribers. I see the channel really, really taking off where you are making some momentum than from which I first met you 6 months, but things are not really happening for me, or things seem to be very slow for me in these last 6 months." And what it comes down to, them not being consistent, or we're not being consistent on when we're doing the live streams. And yes, the first part is date and time. You say you're going to be live at Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and you're going to talk about podcasting. You're going to talk about podcasting, and you share, some tips on, what a podcast is and what you need to do to get started. You talk about podcast hosting, and you engage and answer a few questions of some viewers that are watching. And then you share, hey, look, next time we come on the air, we're going to talk about podcast hosting. But when next week comes, you're no show. Now, I'm not talking about life events where something happens with family, where, an emergency comes up. You just don't show up Saturday morning, and you break the momentum of show or live stream 1 because you didn't show up for week number 2. And then you don't show up until 2-3 weeks later to now talk about podcast hosting. And you kind of take that, and as a result, the mistake of inconsistency, unfortunately, is going to cause a negative viewer experience. It's going to cause YouTube not to be able to, when you go live, they'll send notifications out, but maybe the notifications are not getting out to as many as individuals as it did once before on the first one because of the inconsistency in date and time. So we have to be consistent. Another thing is not having a run of show. Not having a run of show that can help you to be consistent and put together your live stream presentation in an organized way, like a live stream agenda, to help you be consistent in presenting the content so that the viewer can get value, whether if the viewer is part of Team Live or if the viewer is part of Team Replay. You have to have a live stream agenda, have a run of show that will help you so that you can be consistent, so that you're not all over the place. If the topic is the 5 mistakes you need to avoid doing live streaming, then you got to have a run of show that helps you to stay on topic. So if you bring on a guest that's talking about avoiding 5 mistakes, you can stay within the time that you want them to talk about mistake number 4, where they don't go on a tangent and go on for 20-30 minutes on mistake number 4. A run of show is going to help you to be organized based on if you have timestamps of how long you want yourself and your guests to be able to cover this. And so date and time, having a run of show, and I put variety content, but let me I'll have to correct that. Random content. You're doing live streams and you're just doing random content. And I'm not picking on podcasters this moment. 1 minute we're talking about how to help to do podcasting, and we go from podcasting to video podcasting. We go to gear. We go to, maybe for the first month, if you see that the viewers are sporadic, but you have a few viewers, maybe you take the topic of how to start a podcast and you break it up in 4 segments like Ash does on his channel, or Pat Flynn. You know, in the beginning, I used to watch Pat Flynn for podcasting because how he used to break out podcasting from step 1, and out of that step 1, he'll come out 4 points. But Ash does the same thing within our community. So I don't watch Pat Flynn that much anymore. I go to Ash when it comes to podcasting tips, because I'm slowly putting things together so that when the time comes for the podcasting, he has a library of content that's been consistent, where it talks about how to start the podcast, goes to the next level, to hosting, to now launching. He's expanded each segment where it's not random. It's niche down content on a particular topic that helps a new podcaster or a new live streamer or content creator, whatever type of content creation you're making. It's not random. And when you're not consistent, it's going to hurt the replay experience. It's also going to hurt those in Team Live. And so, and I'm not standing in a place of judgment, in a tent of judgment, or I got it all together and I've never made these mistakes. I've made these same mistakes. But again, we can learn from the mistakes of others, but most importantly, we have to learn from the mistakes that we make ourselves. Tech Troublemaker says, Walter, I am about to pivot topics, and I think, okay, is this kind of cutting off? Let's go here, down here. Okay. All right, we're gonna, come on. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that comment, Tech Troublemaker. You have my word on that. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this live stream discussion where we're talking about 5 mistakes that you need to avoid as a content creator, as a person doing live streams, do me a favor, smash the like button, click the thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform that you are on the most frequent, and share it with another person to encourage them, especially if maybe they're not doing live streaming on YouTube, maybe they're doing it on Facebook, maybe they're doing it on Instagram Live, or even recently, since LinkedIn Live now is now become getting momentum, they're making the mistake over there. Hey, share it over there with them so that way they can be able to do what they need to do. Ash, when am I going to buy me a coffee? We're going to set up a time this week so you can help me to set that up and walk me through it, because I got focused on putting together about 2 to 3 shows, and I know it was on my to-do list, and I did not do that. So we will get that done this week. You have my word that I will make sure that gets set up for sure this week. So you have my word on that, my friend. Tip number 5, or mistake number 5, not repurposing your live stream. Not repurposing your live stream. Probably another big mistake I made in the beginning, where I was not repurposing my content, where I was just making one live stream and then, sign off and give my closing remarks. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails in your life. Make a quality decision today and let God's purpose prevail your life. And I end the broadcast. And then I go to the next live stream and I just repeat the process, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I would have all that content. Back in the days when I had Dale Roberts from Self-Publishing Dale, to Dan Courier, to Benji Travis, I would just rinse and repeat, and never repurpose any of the content until I started running in the content creation circle of individuals like Ash and Tech and others, where they were repurposing their content. And I began to see the value in them doing that and how it could help me. But I made that mistake. And as a result, I got fewer replay views on the live stream after it went off the air. And now it's a piece of content to be watched, because I'm asking someone to make a commitment to watch an hour to 2 hour live stream that's now in the replay. And they don't know me. They don't view me as a person, as an expert authority on the topic that I'm trying to talk. They don't know me. I haven't established any credibility. To even if I did have a buy me a coffee up, they're gonna be like, buy you a coffee, dude. You want me to watch an hour to 2 hour video and I don't even know you, when I could go into Google search or YouTube search bar, hit the same topic, and maybe see it now at maybe 10 to 15 minutes in an online video versus an hour to the live stream was just too long. And as a result, no one was watching any of my replay material because I was not repurposing content. And unfortunately, we make the mistake, even some of us that are maybe we may not consider ourselves as pros and veterans, like Mr. James Hicks that just jumped in the chat and said tip number 5 is huge. And us not repurposing our content. We may be there's even pros and veterans who haven't seen the value in it yet. And I think if I would offer a counter defense on their behalf, maybe it's because we're just too lazy. I said it. And the reason why I can say that, because I was being lazy. I said, man, you want me to repurpose this and putting this on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube Shorts? And the reason why I'm being lazy, because I'm caught up in the moment, because I don't see the views that I think I should be getting. I don't see the subscribers at this moment that I want to have. And so because I have the wrong perspective and I'm being lazy, I don't repurpose my content. And I keep banking on that I can put together a live stream, an hour to 2 hours, and people are going to watch. And the truth of the matter is, you're going to get fewer replay views on it. And again, when YouTube starts to want to get your video, that replay video, into suggested, and they start to try to put that before people, and then they see people clicking off on it maybe 5 minutes into the video, guess what? YouTube is not going to show that replay video. I'm seeing it in real time just on this series that we did on, live stream guests. It seems like the last 5 videos that they did, replay video 1 got about 90, but then replay video number 2 on that series got 230, 239. And to real pros who've probably been doing live stream for a minute, who's getting about 1,000 to 2,000 views. I'm excited for the growth where I am at. So I'm getting there. But what I'm seeing is, what YouTube is showing me is, when I take the time and I put chapters into the video on the replay, it's going to help rank it in search and get it shown more, because you're providing the replay viewer, part of Team Replay, to say, hey, look, maybe I can't watch your entire replay of your 2 to 3 hour live stream, regardless of how good you thought it was with said guest. Okay. But if I can click on a chapter and watch maybe 5 to 10 minutes, well, if you're doing a 2 to 3 hour live stream, you probably end up got maybe 10 to 30. So, man, you need to work on the timing of that live stream and bring it down, bro. Bring it down, sis. Bring it down. Get it to about an hour, and then you can put it in the chapters, and then that way you can probably get some more views. And if you're trying to get that first 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, you can position yourself in a better position of getting people to watch the replay. But you got to repurpose it. And you can repurpose it in so many good ways, but give you a preview on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're having Dr. Elo, who's going to be making a house call here on The Huddle. And we're going to get more into how you repurpose your content. So we're going to touch more on that on Monday, on some of the ways. But if you don't repurpose your content, you're missing the opportunity in creating new content. And when I remember when I first heard this strategy, I believe giving shout outs to where shout outs belong. I heard it from Sean Cannell from Think Media, and he was talking about the strategy of live streaming from the standpoint where you have to understand that live streaming is your first piece of content, the replay is the second piece of content, and then the tips or the value points that you talk about, if you cover 3 topic points, you can repurpose each of those, and that becomes 3 additional pieces of content. And it allows you now so that maybe a person doesn't have the time right now to watch the live stream for an hour, but if you repurposed the other 3 points in the live stream and you put the link to the live stream in the video, at some point, if they watch some of the clips, that eventually they'll say, hey, look, let me devote some time in watching this live stream. It's a strategy that works. But if you constantly make the mistake of just pumping out live streams from an hour to 3 hours and you have no credibility, you have no authority from the standpoint that you have no sweat equity and you haven't been here for a moment. You see a person like our good friend James Hicks, and you see the success he's having, but you want the success, but you're still in the first phase and he's in phase 3. It's not gonna work. And so I'm telling you, I'm raising my hand. I made this mistake, but I've learned from the mistake. See, I can't talk about something about a mistake I haven't learned unless I've learned it and learned it well. So that way I don't constantly repeat it. So in summary, I want you to, before I go to summary, I wanted to put up a bonus tip. And before I give this bonus tip, I see my good friend, Mr. Robert Tyman from Arizona, joining us this morning. Praise the Lord, my brother. I appreciate you watching this morning. Us in sunny Tucson area, Arizona. Good brother in the kingdom of God. I appreciate you. We're talking about 5 mistakes on how you as a content creator, live streamer, need to avoid making when you're doing the live stream. But I thought about this bonus tip, and I should have, and the mistake that I've learned here is when you have a bonus tip, let a person know that if they stay to the end, you got a bonus tip. And I said I was going to do that. I'm going to have to put a Post-it note. So I make sure when I do bonus tips, I'll make sure that I can encourage the audience to stay to the end, and that will help retention. So that's bonus tip A. Here's bonus tip B. Failing to review your live stream checklist. Failing to review your live stream checklist. Why is this important? Well, when you're first starting out as a live streamer, a live stream checklist is, I believe, critically important for you to have so you can go through the different checklists of checking your audio, checking your lighting, checking your internet connection, where you're not depending on the Wi-Fi, but maybe you got yourself hardwired, and you're going through all the different checklists. So when you go live, you put yourself in the best position so that the live stream can be successful. Successful in the sense of how you present it and how it's presented, and it adds value. But reviewing the live stream checklist should go a step further. Maybe you check to make sure that your laptop, if you're using a laptop like me, and your plug is plugged into the laptop and you're not operating off the battery. Because here's what happens. And I had this happen to me a couple of weeks ago, where I had a guest on. I think it was Shanika Lawrence, where we talked about crushing your fears on YouTube. And at some point, I was plugging in my microphone, and I didn't realize when I was plugging in the microphone into the laptop, because I don't the way I have it positioned, I don't have it plugged into to my docking station. And as a result, I end up hitting the plug on the laptop, not realizing that the laptop during that whole time was operating on battery. And in midstream of the live stream, I go completely off the air, and I'm thinking, StreamYard, what are you doing? Why did I lose internet connection? But the truth of the matter is the battery died. And it took me about 10 to 15 minutes to recover and bounce back to get back on. At that point, my guest had unfortunately disconnected. Some of the huddle community was still on, and I was able to get back on after getting the laptop um, plugged in and get back online. But had I reviewed my live stream checklist, check to make sure that the laptop is plugged up, make sure any additional speakers that are on are also, it doesn't cause any audio feedback. From time to time, review your live stream checklist so that you don't have an unfortunate situation happen on your live stream where you end up being disconnected from the stream software, whether if that stream software is StreamYard, whether if it's Ecamm, Restream, or if you are just doing YouTube straight from YouTube. Review your live stream checklist. And if you do that, you put yourself in a position where you don't have an unfortunate situation. And if by chance, if there is an issue, even after reviewing your checklist, if you have to go mobile on your phone to StreamYard, you can do that. And again, this video is not sponsored by StreamYard, but one of the features that StreamYard does allow us to, as content creators, is to be able to go to our StreamYard account and to be able to continue our stream through mobile. And so you want to do that so that you don't have an issue to do that. I would. Okay, perfect. So that's a bonus tip that I wanted to share. And so in summary, we talked about mistakes that you need to avoid: the mistake of not planning, the mistake of having a long video intro, the mistake of having hurting the replay experience. We talked about the mistake of not being consistent, and we've talked about not repurposing your content, and we talked about the bonus tip and not reviewing the live stream checklist. And if you do these things, these disciplines, these practices will position you to be in a place of having success on your live stream for future streams that you do. But it's about the disciplines that you do now. It's about the disciplines that you do now. So that's our 6 tips this morning with the bonus tip. 5 tips in our bonus. Any questions? I've answered a couple of questions. I've seen some great comments in the chat. One of the things that I definitely see that a need for this live stream, as it is really starting to grow and get momentum, is getting moderators in the chat to help us with the chat so we can further improve engagement and response. So Ash, that's another one of the things that I want to bounce off with you and get some feedback on. Tech Troublemaker, get some feedback from you. Maybe James can get some feedback on getting some moderators. You know, when I first thought about getting a moderator, I said, you know, maybe it's a little too soon to do that, but I can see that, you know, this live stream is packed full of value, and you guys are letting me know that, you know, we need to get this live stream, this huddle, in the place where it needs to be. Yes, mate. I love that idea. I appreciate that. Hey, we're on the same page, sir. We're on the same page. So, hey, we've been talking about 5 mistakes you need to avoid as a live streamer. So if you're watching us, I know we're close to about 50 minutes into the stream, but hey, this has been great. Moderators in moderation. Okay. Tech Troublemaker, I'm definitely gonna pull on you for that. Pull on you that for sure, because you know, us being able to pull our resources together and identify moderators to help with our streams, that will help us take each of our live stream shows to the next level. I think is definitely something needed. So if you've gotten great value out of this discussion this morning, I need you to do me a great favor. Smash the like button, punch the thumbs up button. Don't punch the computer. Please don't do that. Don't punch the phone, but click the thumbs up button. Share this on your favorite social media channel. And if you haven't had an opportunity yet, subscribe to this channel so that we can help you to get great value by you subscribing to the channel so you can broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video. So this Monday coming up, we have the doctor making a house call on the huddle, 7 p.m. Dr. Elo. We're going to piggyback off of tip number or mistake on failing to repurpose your content. Mistake number 5. We're going to go into a little deeper on that and what does that look like, and certainly Ash, he is definitely a person. If you go look at his YouTube channel, his podcasting YouTube channel, he is a clear example of being able to repurpose your content, not just on YouTube, but on Instagram. But we're going to have Dr. Elo come on and really share some strategies on helping us as live streamers not make the mistake of hurting the replay experience. See, all of this ties up as we're into this new series now. All of this is going to tie together with our next guest, and then after we talk about that, we're going to touch on next Saturday, God willing. We're going to talk about how to create a run of show that's going to help you level up your live stream, how it's going to help you level up your live stream and the experience of your live stream. So we're taking this, and like I said, we're not going to take and make the mistake and hit one piece of topic of content and be random over here and then jump over there and then confuse our audience who would maybe be joining us, because we have the huddle community is a mixture of beginners and experienced vets that are in the community. So we're kind of putting it all together so that way we're all growing together as a community. And as I use the football analogy, we're helping each one another in that huddle, all 53 players, whether offensive or defensive or special teams, helping each other to be encouraged, helping one another to win their individual matchups and assignments so that we can win as a team. We can win as a team here on the huddle. So we're excited. We are excited. We are excited. We're excited. So as we get ready to sign off this morning, I appreciate Tech Troublemaker. I appreciate Ash, James, Robert, and those of you who maybe have been watching but did not want to engage in the chat, but you just wanted to watch because you were working and you just didn't have the ability at this moment to get in the chat. We acknowledge you. Those on the replay who will watch this, who will be watching the replay, but just at this moment not able to engage in the comments in the like section because you're working. If your schedule permits at a later time, jump back into the replay, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, give us some feedback on how this tutorial on how to avoid these mistakes is adding value to you. And that will be graciously appreciated, because we will be able to know that YouTube sees it and they are sharing this content. So with that said, we're going to get on out of here. And this has been definitely a great live stream with all you guys here hanging out with me and we hanging out with you. And Ash, we are definitely going to connect with the Buy Me a Coffee and get that up next week. That is the goal. And I will hook up with you and Tech Troublemaker on getting moderators. So with that said, we're going to close out. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose to prevail in your life. Make a quality decision. Get the intro set. Boom. Well, outro, because we're getting ready to go off. Make a quality decision to let God's purpose to prevail in your life. We will see you on Monday. this Monday, 7 p.m., Dr. Elo here in the huddle, making a house call. God bless.